Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill the Small Talk, and I'm your host, Alex Crone. On this podcast, I bring in guests from all walks of the entertainment industry, and we get down to the nuts and bolts. On this episode, I'm talking to my very funny friend, David Conolly. He's a comedian, actor, and writer, and this is part 2. Here's the episode. Enjoy.
Go on then.
Do you know now that we're starting?
We're starting now, are we? All right, okay.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been too long.
It's been 5-6 days, but again, man, it's there's so many questions that I still had not had the chance to ask you. I think 1 hour was not. We were talking about like a 2-hour podcast. Can't listen to that, but I think this one deserves.
Well, we'll see.
Another hour.
Ask me a question and we'll see. Right? We might go. Yeah, no, he doesn't know the answer.
Tell me a joke.
Tell you a joke. Don't forget that one.
Man,
we'll move on.
I hate it when people would tell me, because when I was going to Theater of Arts, again for context for the listeners, David Conolly taught me improv and sketch and theater, and he became the director of Theater of Arts Acting Conservatory in Hollywood, and so he taught me stand up, and part of the final for the stand up class was to perform at the Comedy Store.
Amazing. I mean, that is amazing that we were at the Comedy Store.
That was the other thing that sold me on the school too. When I was talking to Nicole, the person in charge of admissions, she told me that all the actors here are professional working actors. They're working now, and then if you're interested in comedy and stand up, you get to perform at the Comedy Store. I was like, oh my god! And you get your.
I love it if you're interested. No one had a choice.
No one had a choice.
Everyone, I mean, what was great about that? There was someone like Martha who said, "Oh, can I?" And she said at the start, "Can I just I'll do the stage management on the microphones." No. And then 6 weeks later or 12 weeks later, she was at the Comedy Store and absolutely killed it.
Essence, remember Essence too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I was there with you that night when we both saw Essence.
And
we both looked at each other and we went, oh my God,
there was
hilarious.
Moments where you saw people go, oh, I think their life has just changed.
There was this in this class, I won't say the name of the student, but I had a classmate, one of your students, and she was great. She was really funny. She was always on, but I remember one of the notes you told her, because I think at one point we had just gotten tired of telling her, write your jokes down, write these down. And she would just go off and just kind of improvise it. And then I remember you telling her maybe like a week or so before the show, you're like, look, you can go either way. You can go off script, or you can stick to your material. It could go great, or it could go bad.
And which way did it go?
It went bad.
It went very bad. I remember.
I had a feeling.
That was the problem was, and I always said, and that was the only time that as an instructor that I've allowed someone to go off script, because I thought I just cannot get her to write it down. No. She just won't do it. And the problem is that she was so good in class that everyone loved her. Everyone thought she was hilarious. But I had this sort of nagging feeling in the back of my head going, but can she do it in front of people that she doesn't know? I went and sat down with a coffee with her, and then I thought, I've got to actually go the other way. I've got to go do it, go for it, because I want to give her confidence. And then she went up there and it was a car crash, wasn't it? I think it was one of the worst moments as an instructor of going, oh no. And the thing is, I couldn't get her out of it, because I remember the Comedy Store coming up and going, can we light her? And I went, I don't know where she is.
I don't think she did 5 minutes. I think she did
because
3.
we had to get her off stage because it was so bad. And I remember like with most students, I'm going, this is their last joke. This is the last joke. And I could save them. I couldn't save them when I wasn't there, but I could go, just let them do this. And they go, okay. But I couldn't save her. I was going, I have no idea where she's going or what she's doing. And, just pull her whenever you want.
I do remember one of their first jokes. They came on the stage, and was that the belly room, or was that the?
It was in the original room.
It was in the original room, yeah. So it's small, it's intimate.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk into the Comedy Store, you walk up the staircase. It's on your left.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a tight space. Everyone's kind of tight, sitting like sardines.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then one of her first jokes was, and she was going off script. You had the neon signs of the community. You had like Robin Williams, and you had.
I'm getting hives just thinking about this. I remember it. Yeah.
She like pointed them out and was like, "Oh look, Robin Williams, he's dead," and just
Yeah,
no,
it
and
was
she was like, oh, and I think she knew.
Do you know whose house you're in? And you're basically saying negative things about the legends of this room.
I'm like, oh no.
I mean, 'cause I always think that was a great thing. Going, you're probably the Comedy Store being what it is. You're probably holding the same microphone that Robin Williams used to hold, and then you're going up there and you're saying negative things about these stars. And I'm like,
I think she had the right intention to like point stuff out and stuff. I think that's a good notion to go into when you're like maybe when you're in a room, but it was the wrong turn. It was turning it negative. She could have turned it into a positive.
But this is a problem without having a script. I mean, stand up, it's written. I mean, it is. I mean, like, and the trick is to make it look like it's improvised.
Yeah.
She went the wrong way, and we won't talk about her for too long because I mean, I loved her. I thought she was great improviser. But it can go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And that night, it went horribly wrong. In a way, I wish it had gone horribly wrong in class, and it didn't because everyone thought she was great, and it was like I couldn't, and I think I was probably the lone voice going, "You've got to write it, you've got to write it."
Yeah.
No, she's brilliant, she's great, and then of course she gets up in front of 200 people and died a horrible death.
Yeah.
It was grim.
Well, I brought that up because I wanted to talk about my first moment.
Let's talk about your first
performing at the Comedy Store. I was wearing this shirt actually.
Yeah?
This shirt still fits me 6 years later.
He's not changed it
2019.
since. It was such a big night. It was so good. It went out. I'm never going to change. Take this shirt off.
This is a shirt. It's the Comedy Store shirt. Never washing it.
The sleeves are falling off, but it's yeah.
I remember feeling excited. Of course, like the adrenaline goes through you, but it was moments before that I knew that I was going up, and I remember looking at you, and my heart was palpitating. My left arm was going. I was like, no, I'm having a heart attack. I was like, this is it. This is how I go. This is how I die. I die on stage in front of my family, in front of my friends. Yeah. And then you were like, Alex, you're like, you've got this. And I remember the note you gave me helped me so much, and it helped ground me. And the note was, pretend like you're talking to your 5 best friends.
Okay. Good.
I remember that note. And I was like,
I think my job that night, it's interesting because I've been doing so much stand up that when I'm going up there, I'm not nervous, but I get really nervous on those nights, not for me, but for the students. And I feel like my job is like a football coach on the bench, having to talk people into it so that before they get up there, because everyone goes through it. I went through it that first night of going, and the adrenaline is through the roof. Oh my gosh. Right? I mean,
that's some of the worst anxiety I've ever felt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've all had it. I mean, I used to get it when, you get so much adrenaline when your body is shaking, you know?
Yeah, I got the nervous sweats. My stomach was turning.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God,
I remember years ago, the first time I ever went on the West End, I was just like, before I was going on, and I was thinking, why are you putting yourself through this? You're almost like negotiating with yourself. Then don't go on.
Yeah.
Just walk out the theatre, go to the pub, and actually just like become a postman. I don't know, do something else. Anyway, so you've got about 5,000 questions you want to ask. I won't go on this time.
No, it's fine.
What's my social security number?
Where do you live?
Where do I live?
In your opinion, what is the most important part in telling a joke?
Structure.
Yeah.
It's that's why that girl who remains nameless got it wrong, is that it's the structure of the joke.
Yeah.
And and if you've got that structure wrong, it doesn't work, right?
No.
And people think it's timing and all that. All that comes in. It's the structure of the joke.
Yeah. Structure. Actually, is there a certain structure to a joke that makes it funnier?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think it's a science. That's why I think anybody can do stand-up if they understand, if they're prepared to be taught and they're prepared to understand it. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically you set up an assumption and you shatter it.
Yeah,
you're basically trying to fool the audience. Everyone goes, it's almost like a magic trick, isn't it? Where everyone knows, oh yeah, they're pulling the wool over our eyes. And I think it's like that with comedy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they expect it to be written. And that's a difference between, someone said it to me in Chicago once when I was doing stand-up there. And I went to an improv night. And everyone was laughing their socks off at the improv night. And I said, how come comedians don't get away with doing that? And he said, it's because of the expectation. That we expect you it to be written, and we expect that you're going to deliver. But we're still trying to fool you that it's just that it's not written.
Right.
That's the trick.
That it's spoken as we are right now.
So we're
It's
having
like
a conversation, and then you're telling your jokes. But actually, the audience goes, "Oh, this is sick. Oh, you got me," and it's just like, "Oh, you got me again." Yeah. And that's what it is. So much of it is surprise.
Surprise,
right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was telling a story about how I was in Seattle. I used to headline there quite a lot, and the trick there was to the first couple of minutes I would talk about what was currently in the news in Seattle. And then I go and do the same set, and I'm thinking, good God, I'm doing the same set as last year. And then people come up to me going, "How do you do it? You've got a completely different set." And I went, "Yeah, right."
It's the same one.
Yeah, but they expect, and they weren't. You know, you're sort of thinking, God, they might. But then, like, who am I? Like a year later, which is why you have to spread like a headliner can't do the same venue of 2 years. You know, it has to be a year apart.
Yeah.
And that's for that reason.
Yeah.
Everyone's forgotten.
Everyone's forgotten.
Everyone, yeah.
Well, actually, I've always had this thought because, like, you know, I play music too, and when I'm going to a concert, I'm expecting these bands
That's
to play
true.
their hits. I'm
That's
expecting
true.
to hear these songs. But if I go to if I go see a comic that I love, I want to hear those. I do want to hear those jokes.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it feels different because I'm like, I want to hear new. I want to hear new. Why do you think it's different?
It's difficult because you know, Eddie Izzard got into trouble with this in England, and I feel for him on this because the way he, and I hope I'm telling this story right because it's not my story, it's his story. The way he built his set was that he would start the tour in Northampton and he'd finished in Glasgow, and by the time he got to Glasgow, he's got a completely different set. And then the next year he starts in Northampton again, and then he finishes in Glasgow, and by the time he's got a different set. So the problem was 1 year it got flipped. So he started in Northampton, finished it, and I'm saying Glasgow, finished in Glasgow, and maybe it was some other town, and then he started again in Glasgow with the same set that he'd just done 3 months ago. And everyone was going, well, that's the same set, because I'd only seen it 3 months ago. And I believe I'm not sure if there was a lawsuit, but there was so many complaints. And he actually said, look, if you go and see the Rolling Stones, you want to hear Satisfaction, right? You'd be annoyed if you didn't. And he said, and he explained, and he said, and he was annoyed because he had to give away his process and going, that's how I do it. I change a joke a night. And if you're thinking he's doing it so many nights on the road, that by the end of it, at the end of that year, it's a completely different set. And then I start again. And he didn't perform for live for a long time.
For a while.
Because of that, I believe. You know, he came over to the States and went, you know, well, if you don't want...
Fuck it.
Yeah, basically. And I get that because, you know, like you're going... I mean, I'm doing a set tomorrow night. I'm going to recycle something. I'm not going to go and... home tonight and write a new set. I must admit, I might put a new joke in, but I'm gonna go for my solid set. But I'm only going to do 10, 15 minutes. But I've got lots more material than that, so I can go. Which one am I going to do? And it's like, and sometimes it's like a Rolodex in my head going, I'm going there. So when I go on stage, I try and sometimes I fool myself. Because I'm going to go, because I need that edge. I don't get nervous anymore. So I'm walking up to the microphone going, which set are you going to do? Which set are you going to do? Which set are you going to do? But once I'm in there and I'm not doing what that girl and going, oh, that I've been inspired by the neon in the room. Yeah. I'm going, okay, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And then I'm there. And once I start, I'm in. There is no stopping me. I'm doing that bit. That's it.
Right.
You know, and then I'm going to do this bit. And sometimes when I'm doing it more and more, I'm trying to keep it fresh like that. And I will try and put in a new joke a night. Yeah. Basically.
I think for the record, Eddie is now a she, I think.
Right now, yes, I believe.
How does an idea or an observation convert into a finished joke or a bit for you?
That's a good question. I think inspiration going away. I mean, like I do a bit about a lake. And I was just reading the New York Times and going, a lake has disappeared in California. And I'm going, what? This can't be true, right? it's got to be like a paddling pool or a little pool of water, and 100 square miles worth of water had gone missing.
How does that happen?
Well, it was stolen by Los Angeles. It had been siphoned off.
Yeah.
And the more I read about it, the more it wrote itself, that I was going, this is crazy. These guys were going up there with siphons, pretending to be farmers, and were siphoning off the water.
These are hired by the state or city of LA.
City of LA was chose, and I read about, it was just this court case that I was reading about, and I'm going, what? The city of Los Angeles is in court because they stole this water. So that turned into a 5-minute bit that I do. Go, well, first of all, how do you get a city into a court? Is it, it's too big, just like get someone to represent the city, like the Hollywood sign. No, it's too big.
How
No,
you going to fit 5 million people?
How do you fit 3 million? 5 million people into a court? You can't. So all 5 million people are guilty of stealing this water. And then they were found guilty. LA was found guilty. Going, the city is, I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know that we'd stolen all this water. I'm drinking this innocently, going, oh no, this is stolen water. Yeah, so I do the whole bit on that. And then you build it. You just like, I've seen much more famous comedians than me just building their sets over time. And I think you build it and then you just refine, hone it. I think the honing is important. Yeah. I remember someone saying to me, like, just hone that set. And I went, okay, that's the one then. And I had to just keep honing.
Right, and that's what you build for, right? You do your 5, you get your solid 5, then you do your 10, 15.
That's the way someone taught me how to do that. It's like, so to feature, you do half an hour, to headline, you do an hour. And the way you do it is you just stitch your 5-minute sets together. Because in LA, you get about 6 minutes on stage, don't you? And the problem is you go to somewhere like Seattle or Idaho and you go, oh, you got your book for an hour. And you go, oh no, I got it, because I've got all those different 6-minute sets. 10 6-minute sets, and you're good. You're good to go.
Was there ever an appeal to you to do it like a 1-hour special?
Yeah, I should have done it pre-pandemic, because when we were shooting specials at the arena for other comedians.
Oh yeah, that would have been the space too.
That was the time to do it.
Sally Mullins,
Sam Bashew, and Bobby Oliver.
That's right.
We were shooting all those specials, and I was opening for them and producing them. And I just didn't have the personal ego. I was thinking, does anyone really want to see my special? And also I was scared of burning the material. And now I not bitterly regret, but I just think I should have done it. I just should have done it. I should have bit the bullet, should have gone, all right, I'm doing mine at the arena as well. Yeah. When we had that beautiful theatre.
Yeah, it was a great spot.
We put cameras everywhere. I learned a lot from doing it. It was
Reese in one corner.
Yeah, we had 7 cameras.
7?
7 cameras going at the time. Yeah.
I thought it was just
from
3.
all different angles, even behind on the audience. Cool. And I remember, I don't know if you were at Samba's when we brought all the cameras on stage and got the audience, because they organically did a standing ovation, and we went, we've got to get this.
That's cool. I remember that.
So we came on, and Samba and me did jokes while they just get the audience going to get their responses and their reactions to cut it together.
I remember being at his special, and we were in the audience, we were waiting, and he was, he might have been doing some like, he might have been prepping like his voice. He might have been doing some voice stuff, and then I remember you guys started. They had started filming, and I think he maybe messed up on a joke, or it wasn't set up. Something happened, and he was like, "Wait, okay, let's take it." His
wife was in the booth, Araya, and she was going through the script.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, he's missed this one, and then we had to go back and redo those jokes.
I didn't know this at the time. I remember thinking, I was like, wait, this is bizarre, because at a live comedy show, it's all the way. You don't stop. But then I was like, wait, hold on, they're filming it. I was like, it's kind of like a movie.
Once you've got a camera involved, you can manipulate anything. And we did. And we went, okay. I mean, she was brilliant. I'd go up there and go, right. She goes, he missed this, he missed that. And it wasn't that, and you go, great.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember the day before, Samba came in with the crew, no one there, and just ran the whole set for the crew.
Wow. Yeah.
And no one was laughing because they're fiddling with him, they're looking at angles, they're trying to get that. And I thought, wow, that's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, why I didn't enjoy doing stand up on Zoom during the pandemic.
Oh my God, I did one.
I did it once
horrible.
and I hated it.
Was bad.
And I was told I did it for a club, I think it was in Nottingham in England. And it was very sweet because they said, oh, we've always wanted to book you, but you're in LA. I went, so here's our chance, this is work. And I did it. And then I felt like it was the middle of the day for me because it was LA. So it was like, say it was like 12. Yeah, something like that. And I just went, I'm just doing my set, which I've done a million times, to a computer. This is awful. This is like, I'm in my front room. I feel like a fool.
Everyone's on mute.
Yeah, everyone's on mute. And then afterwards they're going, oh, that was great. And I thought, I never want to do that again. I never.
Yeah, that was great. How? We sent the laugh emojis.
Yeah, well, actually, I did it for Twitch, and that was slightly different because it was in a room like this where there was big screens everywhere, and there was laugh emojis, and also I was dollar signs as people were paying me, and I went, oh, this is great.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
they were sending you money?
Yeah. People were sending me money, and I remember sitting down and then looking at my Venmo and going, oh, I just made a lot of money from doing that set.
Wow.
Yeah. From doing an hour-long set or 45-minute set in someone's studio.
That's great. Because like the reason why I asked about the special is because like there are people kind of around me that have not been doing stand-up for that long and are already talking about doing a special. I'm like, what? And that takes 15, 20 years to build you got to build an audience.
Yeah, and that might be why I probably held back as well, because I'm probably of that old school of going, oh, well, it takes a time, you got to run it. Whereas now, I mean, and the truth is you can just do it. You can. And you might get lucky and, you might get the people. I don't know. I think it's got to be good and it's got to be tight. And, and people are always asking me, did you see this person special? Did you see that? And the truth is, most of the times I haven't. I mean, I just go, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Like it's a bit of a busman's holiday for me to sit down. And I love comedy, but of an evening, and they say this like of an evening, I'm probably like more likely to watch a drama or a thriller. Whereas if you're a comedian, they say that like if you're doing a dramatic role, you probably go, actually, I want to watch a comedy tonight.
Yeah,
I think we do. A lot of humans that I know work in opposites. So I might get home from doing stand-up and going, the last thing I want to do is watch stand-up.
Yeah.
I want to go, right, okay, what's the darkest thing that I can watch on television that's going to really freak me out?
Yeah. Well, my buddy, Jason Collins, do you know Jason?
No.
You met him? He's also a comic. He's been doing stand-up for 20 years now. And he makes great points because, like, and maybe you'll agree or disagree, but he was saying that, like, nowadays, comedy clubs, the last thing they look at is if you're funny. He was, how many TikTok followers do you have? And he has this example where he knew this person who was famous on TikTok doing sketches and doing comedy like that. And this I think it was like the Improv in like somewhere in like San Bernardino or something. They booked him, sold out 2 nights. Yeah. And he invited David to open for him. And Jason, to open for him, and he shows up and he's like, oh man, like this is great, you sold out 2 nights. He goes, yeah, well, let's hope tonight is better than last night. He goes, why? He goes, well, I bombed. He goes, you bombed? This is your own crowd, how do you bomb in front of your own? It's because he's not a stand-up. He comes from sketch and
I'm of the school of like, I understand why you're there as a comedian. You're there so the club sells beer. It's as simple as that, right? That's
a business.
I don't think the club really cares if you're funny or not. They care if they're selling beer because they're making money, right? I think a professional comic, I'm always telling that you should be able to elicit a laugh every 20 seconds, right? So, and quite often you'll see the manager is there, they're literally like, oh, yeah, that's working, right? And people are buying beer. That's what it's about, right? I understand. I mean, I remember with some very experienced comics, we were at one of the clubs in LA during the pandemic outside, and we all met up just to say, oh, we haven't seen each other for like a year or so. And inside there was all these influencers and TikTok stars. Again, so it's just the story you're telling, and we're going, and there was a little bit of like, one day we'll get back in there, or maybe not, because they were bringing in an audience.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, like, I asked them so the manager of the underground came up to me one night in Seattle and said, "Every time you come, you kill it." He goes, "Why don't you got to ask for a weekend? You're always doing a Tuesday night or a Thursday night. Ask for the weekend." So I asked for the weekend, and they said, "You just don't have the numbers." And you can't argue with that. I'll go,
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're funny, but you don't have the numbers, mate.
Yeah.
I think that's just life. It's not about, I hate to say it, it's not about being good. It's about, do you have the numbers?
Yeah, the numbers. Yeah, well, that's kind of like one of the things that like, so like when I was doing stand up, I approached it as an actor, not as a writer.
Look, well, there's two things. As a writer, I think there's a writer and there's the actor, but I think the other thing is marketing. I mean, I remember when I was in Vegas doing stand up, just for weekends and stuff like that. I remember that what's lovely about Vegas is all the comedians get together, and I remember having a chat with Carrot Top, and he was saying he had a marketing degree.
Smart.
He said he basically had a marketing strategy before he had a set.
Wow. What?
I believe Dane Cook might be the same. I think so. And I remember we were having this conversation, a bunch of comics, and someone said, "Yeah, if I have a kid, I'm going to say, if you want to be a comedian or a performer, do a marketing degree first." And I'm like, yeah. And I feel like that's
so
where,
smart.
and I feel like that's where I have probably let myself down in my career is self-marketing. And now as a young performer going out there, you can. You've just made the point that these TikTok stars are going to.
Yeah.
Well, what if an influencer or a TikTok star is really good? Then I think then you really are fine.
Then they are. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you go and you can learn comedy, and you can probably learn how marketing.
Mm-hmm.
These are all learned skills. Mm-hmm. So why not? Anyway, you were going to talk about writing versus performing. Is it?
Yeah. Well, I the reason why I bring that up is because like I approach stand up through an actor's lens, through an actor's eyes. And I was so keen on like, no, I got to stick to my script. I got to stick to my material. And it was tough for me to, because I also learned improv, but I thought that improv and stand up were two totally different things, which they are, but they do kind of go hand in hand. And I was so keen on sticking to the script, sticking to my material, that if anything kind of happened, you're at a comedy club and things happen.
You've got to be alive to the moment.
You got to be,
Well, there's two things, right? You've got to be alive to the moment. And the script, look, if I'm teaching a bunch of writers and a bunch of actors, the first show, the actors are going to be great, right? And they're going, this is good. And the writers might struggle. But 6 months later, usually the writers overtake. And the reason they overtake is because they just go and do it night after night. And they just get better and better, and they're writing new material. And the actors are still going, I got this. Because they've got the performing skills. Yep. And the other thing that I've noticed with actors is that they will approximate a line to make sense of it. So it makes complete sense, but it's no longer funny. Because if you get two words in the wrong place, and the amount of times that people go, I said the same, it's exactly what I said. I go, no, it's not exactly what you said. You've actually said, you've made sense of the line rather than making it funny. So it's understanding the structure, comedy structure. And it's like I was working with some actors last night, and they did that usual thing of going, hey, can I hear that joke again? And I'll just go back, and as if it's a line like in the rehearsal, and they go as if they've just been prompted, and you go, no, I want the joke, the full joke. Mm-hmm. And you've got to understand the full joke so I can hear the structure to see whether the joke works or not. Yeah. And I'm always saying to actors, no, it's not like, like line, and then just going from that point. Yeah. They would just go from that point, and tomatoes. And you're going, no, that's not funny. What led to, that's a punchline. What led you?
To say tomato.
Yeah. And then The other thing is the setup is so important in a joke, and sometimes actors will do, and you want to get to the punch quicker, so sometimes they'll miss out the setup. They'll take the setup out, and they'll give you the punchline, and you're going, well, it doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't work. Yeah,
you just said tomatoes. I don't know why. Or tomatoes. I don't know. Yeah, so it's understanding that, and I think writers might understand it intellectually, but then they've got to hone their performing skills, which you can do.
Yeah,
you just do it. If it's like anything, you just get better at it if you do it more.
Well, and that's actually kind of one of the other things that the reason why I stopped doing stand up and wanted to focus back on acting is because all my peers, not all, most were performing 3, 4, 5 nights a week.
Yeah,
3, 4, 5 shows a night.
Yeah.
Like that's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
That sounds exhausting. But they were so good. They were doing it all the fucking time.
But I do think it sharpens up your acting skills as well. Because the problem with being an actor, and most a lot of stand-ups were actors. I mean, Robin Williams was famously, left Juilliard, couldn't get arrested, so became a stand-up.
Yep.
And then
all the acting work it got him.
Yeah, and then well, that's what I was about to say. I know so many people who they just go, oh God, I can't get any acting work. They go and stand up, and then a year later, someone comes up, and it's happened to me, going, "Have you ever thought of acting?" And you go, "Have I ever thought of acting?" God. Have I? Yeah, no.
Never did West End.
What have you got in mind? Oh, great, yeah, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay, but it's because most stand-ups are going to be, they're going to be okay. Especially, I think, like, if you can do stand-up, you can probably, there's going to be some actors going, I don't believe this, but you can probably act, and you could probably do drama. I don't know if you are just a dramatic actor, I'm not sure you can do comedy. Right.
They usually say, like, really great comedians tend to do better at dramas than dramatic actors doing comedy.
And apparently it's the same in editing. Why? I was talking to Roger Nygaard with he edits shows. Oh yeah,
he edited the Comedy Store documentary, right?
Yeah, and he did Veep, and he does Curb Your Enthusiasm. And he says when there's hiring editors, he says doing a drama. He thinks it's to do with precision, and it might be the same because I do think you have to be precise. He says that with the drama you can let things slide a little bit, a few frames. He says with comedy it's like cut there. And I loved when we were editing Cooper's Bar. He used to come in, and he never touched the keyboards. He would come into he would be at the back of the room and it goes there. He would and he just go, oh, that's funny. And the editor was there going, oh, great, yeah.
So a great editor has to understand the material, whatever it is.
He understands comedy really, really well, the structure amazing. Of it.
Yeah.
He knew exactly, go there. It was a brilliant masterclass just watching him work. And it's so serious when he's working.
Yeah.
He's not making jokes. He's going, okay, I think this would be much funnier if you cut to Lou there and cut away now. And then we're all laughing, goes, yep, that works. It's just like comedians when they're quite often when
awesome.
when they're when you're testing jokes out backstage and they're going, what do you think of this joke? And you go, and rather than laughing, they're going, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Because you're actually trying to work out whether it works.
But you're not delivering it to them as if you're performing it to them when you're asking. You're just, this is what the joke is.
Yeah.
Does it work? Is there anything?
I remember I was doing some TV down in Mexico, in Cabo, and there was a bunch of comedians and we were all doing 3 minutes each. And I remember the comedians backstage going, oh, Dave, can you just ask me, does this one work here? I go, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm thinking of doing this. What does, and they're going, yeah, try this. Okay, I'll try that. And I go, yeah, that works better. And it's just like it's like a science.
I love that about comedians backstage. Is that does this work? Hey, does this? Can you let me?
Work?
Yeah. What's the tag here? What's the? I love that. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking a young student who said that her ambition was to just do Judd Apatow movies. And I mean, I thought, imagine saying that to your agent. They're going to go, yeah, all right, we're not. That's not. And then we went to we were in the belly room. I don't know if you've ever been in the belly room.
Yeah.
And there's. You're in the green room with those tatty sofas, and then in walks Judd Apatow, and he goes, "Oh, female comic, I need to talk to you. Look, I'm thinking of doing this joke. Can you just help me out? Make sure that it's not sexist in any way. Blah blah blah." And I'm going, "Oh my God, you just had your meeting with Judd Apatow.
There you go. Yeah,
you just done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he went, thank you so much. I owe you. Went out and did the set.
Yeah. Hey, remember when you said you owe me?
Yeah. How about that?
How about that part?
Yeah. A little part in a movie. Yeah.
How about that part in Freaks and Geeks?
But I think it's amazing that someone like him is still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, at his level.
Yeah, his level. He's like he's a gazillionaire for making those movies, but it's not about that. He wants to play the belly room on a Wednesday night and sit on those tatty sofas and with other comedians and try and work out jokes. He's really nervous, and then he goes out and does his set.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
All right,
next 5,000 questions.
5,000 questions. Do you remember your first comedy gig? Your first ever stand-up gig?
Yeah. It was in Leicester. I was 21 years old. It was in a club in Leicester. And I went out there and the microphone didn't work.
So did you
I remember someone backstage said the microphone's cut out. I said, do I do it without? And they said, and I went out and I did it without the microphone and would just
good thing you had that West End.
This was before the West End. I was only 21, so I was doing that and I did it and it went quite well. And I didn't do it again for a long time after that.
Really?
Yeah, it went well, but I was like, okay, that's it. Maybe.
No more broken microphones.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gosh, I have so many questions.
Yeah, I don't think a microphone's broken since. Yes.
Okay. Well, I added this segment to every episode. I think it's this. We're gonna play this or that.
Right.
But this is English edition.
Okay.
So this is everything pertaining to England. You ready?
Good.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Full English breakfast or a Sunday roast?
I don't eat meat.
Biscuits or cake?
Have to be a hobnob biscuit.
Hobnob biscuit?
Yeah, chocolate hobnob, dark chocolate hobnob, and then it's a biscuit.
Fish and chips or curry?
Curry.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Cucumber sandwiches or scones with jam and cream?
Cucumber sandwiches.
Pub or tea room?
Pub.
Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Seaside or countryside?
Ooh, countryside.
Football or rugby?
Football.
Doctor Who or Sherlock Holmes?
Sherlock.
Manchester United or Liverpool?
Ooh, that's nasty.
I knew it would.
Can I? Neither.
Skip?
Yeah. Maybe Liverpool at the moment, but yeah. But no, I don't want that one going out there.
All right, here's some here's some UK trivia.
Yeah.
Which nations make up the United Kingdom?
England.
Mm-hmm.
Wales, Scotland,
and
Northern Ireland.
Yep. What is the capital of Scotland?
Glasgow, Edinburgh.
Yep. What does NHS stand for?
National Health Service.
Which UK city were the Beatles from?
Liverpool.
Which British director is known for movies like Psycho and Birds?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Wrong. Sir Alfred Hitchcock.
Ah, come
on. Which organization hosts the British Academy Film Awards?
BAFTA.
Yep. With which country did the UK develop the Concorde?
France.
Who was the first woman to be Prime Minister of the UK?
Margaret Thatcher.
Which you have a joke for.
I do have a joke, yeah.
Which was the first national park in the UK?
Ooh. God.
Starts with a P. 5, 4, 3. Peak District.
The Peak District.
That was the first.
Wow.
Rainy weather or sunshine?
Sunshine.
You already answered that one.
Good.
Actually, you already answered those. Okay. This or that questions, but comedian edition.
Right.
Heckler. Would you rather perform in front of a bunch of hecklers or an empty room?
Hecklers.
Yep. 5 minutes of a killer set or an hour of mediocre applause?
5 minutes of a killer set.
Yeah. Open mic in a dive bar or a corporate gig?
Corporate gig.
Oh, really?
Money. Get the money. I want to get paid for it. Yeah, take the cash.
Yeah, I'd probably do that one too. Write all new material every show or perform the same tight five forever?
I think is it killer? Am I getting like every night?
I don't know. Are you a killer?
Well, if what? And you're saying so? It sounds like writing stuff that doesn't go well or having a really good night every night. I'll have a good night every night. I'll have a good night every night. If it's a brand new audience every night.
Jokes about your family or jokes about the audience?
Jokes about my family.
Do you prefer prop comedy or observational humor?
Observational.
Yeah, I figured. Do you prefer performing at the Comedy Store or the Ice House?
The Comedy Store is my home turf for a long time.
I always say Comedy Store because that's where I first started.
But I do like the Ice House.
Yeah.
I do like him. Oh, well, yeah. I like I think I haven't performed at the Comedy Store for a year or two now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to be there all the time. But
the
Ice
with
House,
Vargas, right?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have his show any there anymore. So,
yeah.
Comedy
Store.
Yeah, I do like the Ice House, but the Comedy Store's sort of rock and roll.
Have you been since they did the renovations?
At the Ice House?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Love
I know
it.
a lot of comedians were complaining about it.
Complaining about what? Having a nice room to play in and getting fed nice food and sitting in a nice green room. What comedians were those? God.
Well, Bobby Lee was upset that no one recognized him.
Oh, well, that's a different issue. Yeah. Oh, no one knew who I was.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, mate, that no one recognized you. Yeah. Because they're nice to everybody. Yeah. Oh, that's the hierarchy of comedy. It's like, oh, yeah, they recognize me here. Nah, I'm not going for that one.
Do you prefer watching movies or TV shows?
Right now, TV shows.
TV, really?
Can't believe I'm saying that, but right now, I think TV's the last 6-7 years. I think it's been TV, but I would have said I would never have said that.
It's pretty
before.
dominant nowadays.
Yeah.
What's your favorite that you're watching?
I'm Pluribus is just out now, which I think is
I haven't seen it yet.
Fantastic.
With Ray Seahorn.
With Ray Seahorn, my good friend, and Samba.
Oh, he's in it too?
That. Yeah.
Oh, great.
So really very proud of those two.
Wow.
I did think Task was very good, and I thought The Diplomat was very good.
Okay.
I've got friends in The Diplomat as well. So that was
Excuse
good.
me.
Yeah, look at that. That's not very diplomatic, is it? Yeah, that's the Americans for you.
Pardon me, sir.
Yeah, The Diplomat's worth watching. I think there's so much good TV right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Adolescence was the best thing I saw this year.
That's the dramatic.
It's one shot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's tough, but that is one of the best things I've seen in 10 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Action films or thrillers?
Thrillers.
Fiction or nonfiction? Documentaries?
Fiction. Oh, you mean of TV wise?
Yes.
Fiction.
Fiction.
I do like documentaries though. I've got to say that I do like them.
I love watching documentaries. I get stuck. Especially historical ones.
But I probably would. Yeah, I'm probably more drawn to fiction because that's the world I'm in.
Yep.
Making shit up.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Original films or remakes?
Original.
Yep. Would you rather binge watch a whole season or watch one episode a week?
I'm afraid I'm a binger.
I get stuck binging.
I'm a binger now. Yeah, I'm actually getting a bit annoyed when people hold stuff back. I'm a binger.
Wasn't that better though? Like back in the day, because you would you'd anticipate. Waiting, I can't wait to
much
talk. You talk about it more.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but it's over. I've accepted that.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do I got for you?
There is 5,000 questions.
I was so prepared with all these questions. Do you prefer Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Neither, really? I'm going to go Lord of the Rings.
Well, I've got an issue with Harry Potter is because I had a film that was out and we couldn't get it in the cinemas because Harry Potter took up all the cinemas.
Was this the first movie you directed?
Yeah, Mothers and Daughters. And I
yeah.
remember some cinema saying, writing me a lovely letter going, so sorry, this is not you. We love the film, but Harry Potter, and this is going to make us so much money. And Harry Potter was such a success, and it ran, and it was stayed in forever. And it was like we could never get our film in the cinema. That was kind of disheartening. And Lord of the Rings, I was always like, I don't think I saw the final one. I loved the book when I was a kid, so watching it, I was going, it never. I don't know. probably people hate me now because I didn't like Lord of the Rings. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings guy.
Right.
Well, I did. We have some time left. I wanted to ask you about because you and Hannah, your wife, worked on Father Christmas is back in
Father Christmas
2021.
is back. Yeah,
Kelsey
yeah,
Grammer
yeah.
and John Cleese. Wow, what was that
and
like?
a bunch of. Well, it was weird. I mean, because it was a pandemic. It was. I mean, how it came around was. I was asked to do a Christmas movie, or Hannah and me were asked to do a Christmas movie, in around about February of 2020 by a different company, and we turned it down, going, "Oh, that's not what we do." And then the pandemic came, we were shut down.
Yeah.
And I think it was in a few months, maybe it was in May or April, May. I can't remember when it was. Our agent says, "Do you want to do a Christmas?" I go, "Anything. Give me anything, just to escape." And it was really nice because I was teaching at TOA and Hannah had her job, but it was on Zoom. And then in the evening, we were living in Silver Lake at the time. We'd go on from our pump, we'd go onto the balcony and go, right, now we're writing this Christmas movie. And the way it was structured was... I mean, the producer always had it so that we could be fired at any moment because you had to send in 25 pages a week. And
25 a week?
Yeah,
wow.
And then on a Monday, you'd get hey, write the next 25 or not. And the truth is, we'd always write 35, but only send 25 in. And so it was written quite quickly, and they were very clear with what they wanted and for the actors that they wanted. And then the way, I mean, like we were told, like, there's a role now that Bill Nye wants to do. And I go, oh God, I don't think there is a role for him. All right. And so we had to bump up this role, and then it's suddenly like, well, he's not doing it. It's John Cleese. Oh, wow. And then Kelsey Grammer's playing the father. And so it's like, it was all happening at a distance because of the pandemic. So you'd hear about these actors and you'd have to suddenly rewrite it. And then what we would do is like, it was easy because you'd have in the background, like while you're writing it, I'd have Frasier going on in the background so you could hear Kelsey Grammer's voice. So you could just like be tailoring it for
smart.
him. Not taking the line, but going, oh, this is how he speaks. And then John Cleese, we'd just have John Cleese films on
Monty
in
Python.
the background. Yeah, that'd be, not money, but we'd have some of the movies that he was in.
Rat Race?
What's that?
Rat Race?
No, I think it was things like Clockwise, which is where he was a lead actor. So you just have it on in the background in the other room while you're writing so that you could just hear his voice. So it's like he was there. So I was trying to write for his voice. And then I had a Zoom with John, which was very sweet. He was very nice about it all. And it was just, but then the film, we couldn't even make it to the set because it was, it was in the middle of the pandemic and it was in England, and I never sent to my agent, I just can't get out of the country. Couldn't get out of America, couldn't get to the UK. You had to go into quarantine. It was impossible. And sort of decisions were made that were taken out. And then the film was delayed coming out because cinemas didn't open.
Yeah, right.
I saw it like everybody else was when it dropped on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
So it drops on Netflix and it's going, we watch it. And it's funny because you're sort of watching it going, oh yeah, I wrote that. And then there's bits where you're going, oh, that's a strange that they went there. There were some strange decisions made.
Oh, really?
Well, I knew a week out. Like, for instance, it was set in a cottage.
Yeah.
The idea was that this family was all brought together. Then I get sent the location from production, and it's because everything was available. We're shooting it in this
castle.
In a
right?
castle.
It was a castle. Yeah.
Okay, so that premise of them all being like having to share bedrooms and all that doesn't work then, does it? So can we rewrite that? Then they were all supposed to be stuck in this tiny little car. It was written for like, and then we're going, oh, they've got a Rolls Royce. They've got a Rolls Royce? Well, that's a big car. Then there's, they've got money. These guys have got money. So they're not worried about, okay. So there were things that happened that were sort of like going, oh, that's strange. And then we were told that the final act had to be, everything was about this massive snowstorm. Mm-hmm. And then they were in production, and then I got a message going, we've done a rewrite on the script, but out of respect to you, we just show, here it is. And I realized, I looked at it and went, oh, the rewrite is you would change on final draft, everything that it said where it said, and they look outside and there's snow everywhere and there's frost everywhere and the cars are in frost drifts. And then it was like, oh God, that doesn't work. Can you give me half an hour to try and fix that? I mean, I'm not sure if they did or not. It was all, but so the premise sort of was changing as they were filming it. And the reason said they were shooting in a castle because they had to have everyone 6 feet apart and all this kind of stuff, you know. Right. And it's like, there was just so many. There were things that were changing in production which we had no say over.
Yeah, no control over. Yeah.
And I didn't see the dailies. I didn't see that, and I didn't see anything. I mean, so it's kind of like it was like a film that went, and then I remember my agent's initial pitch to me was going, "Do it, take the money. No one's ever going to see it." I went, "Oh, okay, great, good job." And then he rang me up and goes, "Okay, everyone's seen it because it's number 3." I went, "Oh, okay." Oh dear. And some people love it. Some people hate. I mean, someone in Tokyo, they were talking about Christmas movies one night. I was at a party in Tokyo, and this Australian woman was going, "Have you seen that one with Kelsey Grammer and John Cleese?" And I went, "Oh yeah, I wrote that." And she goes, "You should be ashamed of yourself." I said, "I am. Every time I drive up to the house that I bought with that, I don't get
that. You bought.
We got the money for to put down the money to start off. We didn't buy the whole house. I mean, we have a mortgage, but it's like, I mean, it was enough we knew then we went like, okay, we've got to utilize this money somehow, not mess it up. We lost a house on a movie and previously. And so someone came to a party of mine a few weeks ago and we were in my office and said, and they were going through the movie posters that are on the wall and going, "Oh, love that movie. Oh, didn't like that one." I said, "Well, that one lost a house and that one gained a house. So what can you do?"
I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? Is you work to...
Yeah, what is the dream? I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the dream for me changed. Because I think pre-pandemic, it would have been like to make really, really solid movies that I believe in. And I think then during the pandemic, I was a bit like, let's just make people laugh. Let's have a fun. Yeah. Like I had fun writing that movie. It was fun. It's not that important. It's just like, oh, we're getting paid for it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
I've got a down payment for a house. Great.
I mean, that's my dream. I just want to work. I tell, when people ask, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm an actor, or I'm trying to be. I'm trying to work." "Oh, are you trying to be famous?" I'm like, "No, I just want to work."
I don't think most people I know try. I think it is about the process, isn't it? Yeah. And then sometimes, I mean, look at Ray right now. Is probably like she's, as of last weekend, she became suddenly extremely famous. I think she was well known before, and now I think it's gone to the next level. And I've known Ray for a long, long time. I've known people find, suddenly you go, "Oh, they're an overnight success," but it's taken 20, 30 years.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell people when they're like, "Oh, do you want to be famous?" I'm like, "Well, no, I just want to work.
You want to work.
I just want to work." But I have no control. You don't know you have no idea. I don't
think you do really.
You don't really know if it's,
I mean, the only difference is that nowadays you've got the influences, but you could back into something because you're famous. Like I noticed when I went to a premiere last week and I'm going, "Who are all these people? Oh, I don't know who they are." You can see famous actors and you go, "Oh, they're influencers." Oh.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay. But they're all on the red carpet. So maybe you can back into it in a different way. But you've got to have something to back it up with, I think.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that, like, when we were making my short film Little Boy, I remember we were sitting in the because we rented a B-29 plane in Riverside, and my director agent was shooting another scene, and I was sitting in the back waiting, dabbing my face because it was fucking hot, with a little mini fan, drinking water, and I remember looking at him and like looking around me. I'm like, I'm on the right path. I had a feeling that I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do, and it was making.
It's not what people think it is it? I mean, it's like when I've had. I mean, Cooper's was a bit of a dream job for me, and I remember like at 4:00 in the morning, and I'd bitten my lip because I was so cold, and I was chattering, going, "Whoa, I'm living the dream here, aren't I?" Going,
sweating. I'm sweating.
Yeah. It's funny that I remember my first acting TV job was just like I was underneath a car for a whole day, and I was so excited that I'd actually got an acting job. And actually, it was disgusting. I was under a car, like being a mechanic. It was really nasty, but I was just so excited because I was acting. Yeah.
All right. Weird. I think we're going to end with this. What's the best and worst advice someone has given you?
Best advice. I might have said this last week. Did I say what Edward Bond had told me? Which I think was really good advice.
Yeah, I think so.
She basically said, do really good work, or do work that everyone knows you're doing it for money, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's crap. Right? Yeah, don't do mediocre. Another good advice I've had was from Jonathan Lynn, and she said you have to listen to everybody, but then you have to make your own decision. So even if you have to take it all in. And I'm very careful now who I listen to. But I listen to everybody and go, okay, actually, who am I going to take seriously?
Yeah.
Worst advice? I don't know what my worst advice is. Really? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I've had some terrible, people come up with terrible advice, don't they? Yeah.
The worst advice someone told me was, what you're doing now, do it as a hobby.
Well, that was probably good advice, but you didn't want, I mean, like, I think when I was at school, they had careers advice and I didn't go deliberately because I knew what they were going to say. Like, then they were going to say that. So I just avoided it. And then the teacher did literally say that. And I was like saying, well, you know, they were going to try and help you out and give you like proper, and I thought, well, no, I kind of knew my career choice. Yeah. So in a way, I didn't want to hear it. I knew what it was going to be. So
well, like, see, like for me, like if
it was the right advice.
It is, and I'm not knocking it down. If I definitely do want to continue doing what I'm doing at a professional level, and hopefully one day I can make it my full-time job. But I definitely want to work in something that is leaning towards that. I don't want to do a job that is like... I think if you're on the path, you're on the path, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just go for it, and there's no one's going to say anything that's going to deviate you off it. You're just doing it. I think, I mean, like, I was told all the time, like from family and friends, family especially, going, when are you going to get a proper job, David? And we're like, well... I still hear that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I still hear it. And I'm like, and it's like, there's a certain point where you go, this is what I do. Yeah. You know, it is. And it's tough. It's really tough. I've had moments where I've woken up and gone, smell the coffee. No one wants to work with you. It's not happening. And then you get a job. So it's all right.
Well, thanks again.
Right, thank you
for lending in another
same
hour.
Place next week then.
Yeah, we'll be back for episode 3.
Part 3. You've got a lot more questions.
I still have a bunch of questions I didn't hit up. Yeah, but thanks again, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
this is fun. All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when new episodes drop. Thanks to my guest, David Conolly. Music by Mark Fabian. Produced and engineered by Robert Altschiller. Recorded at Command Recording Studios. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kill the Small Talk Podcast and at Command_Recording_Studios. We'll see you next time. Bye.